Hello, YouTube. This is your boy Mike the Pilot coming at you again with another television show review. And today, the television show that I will be reviewing is called 90 Day Fiancé. It's in season 9, episode 9. It's called Poison in the Honey. And I'm just gonna discuss maybe about three of the couples, and then I'll probably even do like a part two, discuss the rest of the couples. It was a lot of good storylines this time. So let me start off with the first couple I wanted to kind of discuss, which is Emily and Kobe. The way this episode starts off is Emily's having a sit down with her parents, and their parents are kind of discussing their concerns with Kobe and their whole relationship and that kind of thing. And basically, Emily's mom talks about how she does, just more so trying to make sure that Emily wants to really marry him. Don't get married just because you had a child with him, which I kind of understand. But so she brought that up, and then also she brought up the fact that once again that Kobe had said, shut the f up to her. And Emily's mom brought that up in front of Emily's father, and then her father kind of had a little concern about that and said he shouldn't be talking to her like that kind of thing. But the whole point was that they had already nipped that in the butt, like like the last episode, which is why I didn't really understand why would her mom bring it up again. Just to me, it just seemed very dramatic. It wasn't even that. They had already calmed down that whole situation, but either way, Emily was just saying that they will take care of it. They already have plans and that kind of thing. So following that, Emily's father actually had to sit down with Kobe, and he was just asking him like, "Hey, like, what are your plans? Like, after you both get married, like, how are you gonna afford a family? How are you gonna take care of Emily and that kind of thing?" And it really just looked like, his suspicion, Emily's father's suspicion was correct, which is that they really didn't have a plan. It just kind of almost like they're winging it. So it's kind of like they figured they'll get married and kind of figure it out as they go. But Emily's father had already stated that he doesn't plan to take care of them. Like he wants them to be independent, be on their own, which I understand. The guy's kind of older now. He already took care of Emily, that kind of thing. And, he has other children as well. And it's kind of not really his responsibility, but on the other hand, I kind of understand Emily and Kobe's situation in which, she had a child with him. Her child already has not seen him for like a year. And, so I understand that Kobe wants to see his child. He doesn't want to be like a deadbeat and that kind of thing. So he actually wants to be involved in his child's life. So they just figured they would at least bring him there and then try to from there, figure things out. But I do understand Emily's father's concern, in which they should have been kind of figuring this out as they're going along, especially since it's been a whole year. They should have already thought about, okay, as soon as you get here, you can get a job here, or maybe while you're waiting on your green card, you could be taking some courses, so then you can get your degree, you can get like a degree, whether or not it's like, something that's not that, prestigious, maybe just like, no offense, maybe like a nurse assistant or dental assistant, or I don't know, like construction work or something like that, so he can at least bring in some income once he gets his green card. Because I do understand for like, I believe the first 2 years after you get married to a foreigner, they can't really work until they get their green card. So it's going to be a pretty frustrating situation. But they should have kind of had this all figured out before he even got here. So I do understand the concern of their parents, even though I do feel like now, especially her mom, is getting kind of annoying. I just kind of wish they would kind of stay out of their relationship. But nevertheless, that's my take on Emily and Kobe. The next couple I kind of want to discuss is, I believe his name is Guillermo and Kara. And pretty much the whole, the major thing with this storyline was just the fact that he was getting tired of. He felt like Kara was being very bossy and being very restrictive. Versus when they were in the DR, she was kind of different. She kind of let him, live his life and go where he wants to go, and let him kind of like take the lead and that kind of thing. But I understand on her end as well. First off, like, there he had a job and everything, but now he's here and she has to kind of fund everything. So I do understand her frustration in that. She has to kind of look after him and help him go through his culture shock and get used to the way things work in the United States. So I see both sides of it, because I understand that he might feel like she's bossy, but I don't really see it as her being controlling and bossy. I just think that she's trying to get him They kind of see that things are a little bit more expensive here in the States, and you can't really move the same way you move in the DR. And she just kind of really wants him to, she's just trying to get him to be comfortable while he's here. But at the same time, I understand he's trying to be a little bit more, but, ironically, he's trying to be a little more conservative as well and just say, hey, maybe we shouldn't have such a expensive wedding, especially if you want to get like a house and all that kind of thing. So, I understand like both points coming from both sides. I kind of think that they both really really love each other, and I kind of think their relationship is going to go really really far. I just think right now, Guillermo is just really dealing with a lot of culture shock, but nevertheless, that's all I really have to say for that couple. It wasn't, their storyline wasn't too spicy, but it was pretty interesting for this episode. And the last couple I'm going to cover for this video, and then I'm going to do a part 2 as well, is I just want to kind of touch on. I'm going to do Yvette and Muhammad. And so the whole premise of their storyline was just the fact that Yvette just feels like once she gets with Muhammad, kind of like she's gonna kind of lose herself, almost like he's gonna be very controlling and that kind of thing. And she mostly just saying this because he comes from like a Muslim background, and it's kind of a stereotype that they think that because of that, he's gonna be very oppressive to her and not let her do a lot of things and that kind of stuff. And I don't really see it that way. I just think that Yvette had been very, before she had been kind of like independent, living on her own. She wasn't married or tied down, that kind of thing. And I just think now she's struggling with the situation, and what she knows when she gets married, she can't move the same way she was moving before, because she's gonna be with she's gonna have a husband or whatever, and she can try to, they're gonna try to blame it on his religion, that kind of thing. I don't even think it's that. I just think it's the fact that before, she was single when she was dating him, they were just dating. So he has no right to say anything. He has no right to ask her where she's going, all these kind of things. So I think she just kind of liked that, lifestyle. But at some point, she should have been thinking about this before she brought him to the States, and just really sat down and thought about, do I really want to be married and tied down with somebody? And I really hate to even use the term tied down, but really tied down with somebody. Or do I really like my independent lifestyle where I'm free to go where I want to go? I have nobody to answer to when I go home. I don't have to cook for nobody. I have no kids. So I just feel like she should have thought about that before she kind of brought him into this situation. I just feel it's very, one, inconvenient to Muhammad, but also kind of like, like, why did you bring him into this situation if you didn't want to be settled down? You do understand when you get in a relationship, quote unquote, is going to be restrictive, but I mean, that's kind of what comes with the territory of getting, when you get in a relationship or you get married, is, it's you kind of become one unit. So it's not like you just go off and do your own thing. You don't tell your spouse or your significant other what you're up to, why you're spending money, why you're doing all these things. She's looking at it as being oppressive or him controlling her, and she's losing herself into him. And it has nothing to do with it. It's just a matter of fact of, there's another person in your life now. You got to kind of work with that person. So, but yeah, that's my take on, Muhammad and Yvette. I'm going to do a part 2, but overall, I just wanted to at least, discuss a little bit about this episode. It was really, really, really interesting. So if you haven't seen it, you need to, I don't know if you have on demand on with your cable service, you need to check it out. You need to watch that episode. Let me know what you think. Give me some feedback in the comment section. Hit the notification bell. Hit the thumbs up button. It helps the algorithm. Please subscribe to my channel. And until next time, this is your boy, Mike the Pilot, signing off. See you later, YouTube. Goodbye.